Hey, how you doing? Welcome to another video, and it is an annual tradition to do this. I'm sure nobody cares, but it's time to talk about what games I finished in 2024. Obviously, that's not the annual tradition. It's every different year. You know how years work, right? I didn't do 2024 2 years ago. You understand. The year changes every time. Anyway, so this is the games I finished in whatever year it is. I've been doing this since I've been doing this since I think 2018. Well, the year was it was 2019 when I did it, but you know what I mean. So it's actually been a little while. So I thought it was only maybe like 3 or 4 years, but I was like, damn, I did it back in 2019 for the 2018 year. That's crazy. Anyway, so this might be the last time I do it on this channel because I want to start up a gaming specific channel, mainly for game collecting, but I also do want to do gaming other related videos like gore plays and stuff like that. And the streaming will probably stay on here because I will probably have more of a audience here, and people are used to me streaming here. So, but like maybe just the regular gore plays or maybe the archive. Oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. Wait, why don't I just do that? Put the archive on that channel. Anyway, so anyway, there we go. I could do that. Anyway, so yeah, this might be the last year I do it on this channel, but it will not be the last year I do it, period. Unless I die halfway through this year, then it will be the last time I do it. Anyway, so let's get to it. I finished 35 games this year. A lot of them were not from this year, by the way. I don't know, about halfway through the year, I was just like, you know what, screw this. And my backlog was so huge, I was like, you know what, I'm going to go through some of the games I want to go through in my backlog that aren't from this year. And then I did that, and then I said, screw it, I'm just going to go through games I've played before and I want to play right now. There's times where you have to look at where you are in life and realize, I want to do what I want to do, baby. So if I don't want to play this game that just came out 2 days ago, screw it. I'm going to play the game that came out 15 years ago that I really want to replay again. So you're going to see that as we get through. A couple games like that, at least. So let's get to it. I finished 35 games, so let's get to it. First off is Tekken 8. This is my Twitter. I do a Twitter thread, so you can actually keep up with this throughout the year if you follow me on Twitter. So you don't even need to watch this video. But if you want to hear me talk about them more in retrospect, then let's get to it. Number one is Tekken 8, The Dark Awakens story mode, of course. Took about 3.5 hours to complete. I always put how long it takes an estimate because, obviously you don't really know exactly. I do use Exophase, which is a website that tracks your time, but also only tracks all together time. So you could just be like sitting on pause menu for 45 hours and it will track that. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it's about 3.5 hours. Actually, no, I did a full playthrough. That's probably why I could tell you it was 3.5 hours. And it was a fun story mode. I enjoyed it. It wasn't great or anything. It was better than the fucking other fighting game story mode I did a full playthrough for later on, which we'll talk about. But, yeah, I liked it. I did a whole, like, Tekken lore dump video reaction, which was fun to do right before this came out. And then it kind of, I don't know. It felt like it was unnecessary. Not that it was unnecessary. I shouldn't say that because I knew like, oh, when that character showed, I was like, oh yeah, I know the backstory kind of, but it didn't really matter in the terms of the story. You know what I mean? I really enjoyed it. It was fun. It was goofy. It was, it was a fun story mode. It really got you into the swing of things when it comes to the gameplay. I wish these would be longer though. Like, the Mortal Kombat ones are like around what, like 5-6 hours, which 3.5 hours is a little short. I feel like maybe a couple extra hours, or you know what? How about better yet? Less fighting in it. I know that's gonna be like what, but I would actually really like just goofy ass cutscenes. That's what I'm here for. If I wanted to do the fighting, I would just do the fighting. You know what I mean? I could do 1v1 whenever I want with computer. Put on hard mode, be the same shit. More goofy ass cutscenes, and of course Tekken's story mode, you could take it seriously. I'm not shitting on it by saying it's goofy. I love goofy. So that's the only problem I have with it. All right, next is another Code Recollection. Now this is the first game. I'm gonna count it 2 games, so it's only fair. 2 memories. I actually wanted to play Trace Memory right before this came out because I did play it back in the day. I bought it even though I probably didn't need to. I'm sure there's like an emulator somewhere. But I bought it just so I could be like, ooh, I could play it. Didn't get around to it, but I thought it was really good. I thought the remake was very good. Gorgeous looking game, I think, at least. Like, considering it's a Switch game, very good looking game. Likable characters, fun puzzles. It was a little easy because they were very simple puzzles, but pretty good. Yeah, really good graphics for Switch. Now I'm just reading what I said. I'm trying not to do that. But I really liked it. I thought it was really good, and it's definitely one of the more underrated games this year. which we'll get to the second game soon. But first, we got to do Silent Hill: The Short Message, which I totally forgot came out this year. For some reason, my brain was like, this is like a 2023 like October game, but no, that was Silent Hill Ascension, which, by the way, I didn't finish that, so not that it's a game anyway, but still, super happy it's not Ascension. But look at that. 7 out of 10 was probably a little too high for this, honestly. Thinking more and more about it, I thought the chase sequence towards the end, the other ones were not great either, but the chase sequence towards the end was just extremely frustrating. You can watch my full playthrough. Like, I got through it quicker than I thought I would. I was getting really frustrated. And it's one of those things where at first it's scary. I'm like, oh, the thing, it really was scary. And then when you're getting frustrated towards the end, you're just like, man, fuck this dumbass Sakura flower fucking bitch. Like, you're just like, I hate it. I hate this son bitch. And it's not scary anymore. It is a cool design though, we'll say. But this year has not been, or I should say last year was not bad for Silent Hill. I mean, we had this, of course, which was, I don't think was terrible. I know some people shit on it. It was better than Ascension. It was way better than Ascension. And then, of course, we had Silent Hill 2 Remake, which was fantastic. So, or at least that's what I've heard. I've only played about 3 hours of it because I'm a fucking pussy. But yeah, so anyway, Silent Hill is a short message. I liked it. It was a free game too. People have to realize it was free. I don't know what people's problem, what the with the like the whole like the, I'm trying to remember exactly what the fucking story was about. Maybe it wasn't that great of a story. Now I'm trying to, it was what the fuck was the story about? People had but it was kind of controversial. I didn't really see it that way. I don't know. Whatever. Now I can't remember what it was about. Whatever. Anyway, let's get to an actual good game. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. What a fucking game, man. The return of Prince of Persia. Sadly, the team has been disbanded. Fuck. God damn it. But it's a great game. We had also that other Prince of Persia game that came out this year. The Rogue Prince of Persia, which I've heard is also pretty good. And of course, we got the remake of Sands of Time, which I guess is actually coming out, 2026, right? They said no. Did they say 2026 during that Ubisoft thing? Right? They did, right? That was a really shitty Ubisoft event, by the way. I remember that was the biggest news. I was like, anyway, this was a good Ubisoft game. And of course, they had to shutter the people that made it. They didn't. I don't think they got fired. I think they just got disbanded. So they're doing other things. So I think that's good. I don't know if maybe they got fired. I don't know. But yeah, this is definitely one of the best games from Ubisoft. There was a lot of really good Metroidvanias, especially in the last few years, and this is definitely up there with one of the best. Not quite my favorite one this year. We'll get to it. But Prince of Persia: Lost Crown is fantastic. So 17 hours to complete. I didn't do every single thing. Like, I'm not like that type of gamer anymore. There's too many games to play, and if I'm done, I'm done. If I finish the story and I did a lot of the side stuff, then I'm done. We're good. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Streets of Rage 2. I just had I had that want to play Streets of Rage 2. I don't know why. This game is hard as shit though. I remember. Well, I don't know if it's hard as shit. I think I'm just used to playing these games on like one of those like compilation brawler like games, where it has a bunch of games and you could go back whenever you die or whatever. You could continue. This one I don't think is like that. I remember dying and having to go back a little bit, but it's a great game. It has an amazing soundtrack. It's still a fucking awesome game. Streets of Rage 2. I don't know how it's still a 9 out of 10, but it is. So I just felt the need to play that. I always feel like every few months it feels like I'm just like, you know what? I want to play some brawler games. So, which we'll see another one later. But next is... This one was so bad I had to do 2 tweets about it. Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League. 16 hours to complete. As I say in this, I gave it a chance. I know everybody was shitting on it before they even played it, or they just shit on it still and haven't played it still, which is perfectly fine, I think. Because you can just see what they do in this game and go, man, fuck you. It's not worth playing. If you're just shitting on it, just shit on it. It deserves it. It really does. It's not a good game. It really isn't. And I think I gave it a 5. I think I should probably give it a lower. Probably a 4. I don't think it's like terrible. Like I say here, the gameplay has its moments. But man, the story is fucking terrible. The humor is so bad. I don't know what fucking crack the reviewers are smoking where they said, yeah, it's like a 6 out of 10 or a 5 out of 10, but the story's a highlight. They are fucking losing their mind. The story might be the worst thing about the fucking game, including the characters and the writing. All that stuff is terrible. I'm assuming it's the same people that think the writing and stuff like Dragon Age, the Veilguard is good though, or like the humor that was in Concord is good. I don't get it. I don't get how anybody could say this is a decent game. I don't understand. So yeah, this game fucking not good. It's not good. So there you go. I finished it though. So can't give me shit. Next. Oh my God. I don't even want to look at it. God, what a year. I mean, what a month February was. Holy fuck. This is probably lower, by the way, than 4 out of 10 now. Jujutsu Kaisen Curse Clash. Took me about 6 hours to complete. I played some multiplayer also, but I didn't count that. I just counted the story mode. Oh, my, yeah, there you go. Perfect. A cash grab. 100% a cash grab. They did not give a fuck. Like, the graphics look okay. Even that, like, they look like really good, like, PS3 graphics that got that got remastered. You know what I mean? You know how like the JoJo game that came out like a couple years ago that was just like a updated version of a past game on PS3 and 4, I think. You know how that game got kind of shit on a little bit because it kind of looked a little rough. That game looks better than this. Personally, and also had a lot more content too, because didn't that game have like a few dozen fucking fighters and a bunch of other things. Also, I think I could be wrong. I think that was not a $60 game when it first came out, right? Wasn't it like 50 or something? Maybe it wasn't. Either way, there's no way in hell that game is worse than this. Because I heard some people comparing it. This is 110% a soulless cash grab with one of the worst story modes. I thought the My Hero Academia ones, the My Hero 2 Hero, what is it called? No, 2 Heroes is the movie. One's Justice 1 and 2, both had like not the best story modes. Those games have way better gameplay and also more effort put into the story modes. I don't know how it's possible. This did not give a fuck. The story, the cutscenes weren't even animation. I'm assuming they didn't do it because they didn't make it animation. They just made it screenshots because if you streamed it, you would immediately get taken down. I'm assuming that's the reason why they did it. But they should have made it CG, the fucking graphics. Because it's so bad. Also, the whole mechanic of like you can't do damage until you do like fucking whatever spirit energy or whatever the fuck it's called. I don't even remember. Cursed energy or cursed damage or whatever. It's just so unnecessary. It really is. It's a bad game. It's poor. It's just a very poor game. Oh, and the multiplayer sucked balls too. There's probably nobody playing it anymore. I assume so. It's been out for almost a year. And not many people were playing to begin with. Also, it has like the worst DVD looking menu of all time. I thought the Demon Slayer game was kind of a cash grab a little bit, but at least that one actually did the cutscenes in the game graphics, and the graphics were good. So I don't know. This sucks. I love Jujutsu Kaisen 2. It sucks. All right, we're going on to something good though. Arzette, the Jewel of Faramore, 5 hours to complete. This game was really fun. It is 100% a tribute to the Zelda CDI games, but man, is it fun! The platforming itself is actually really good. The combat is fun. It's simple. It's supposed to be kind of a parody of those Zelda games, so it's the same kind of gameplay except they made it. They honed it so it's not as shitty. Obviously, it's way more fun. And the humor is spot on. Really love the cutscenes. They are very much like the Zelda CDI cutscenes, and they're very charming, very weird. I really liked it. The score is great. It was a really fun game. I think this is definitely one of the most underrated games of last year, and I wish I actually bought a physical copy of this because I really liked it. So, there you go. Next. Oh yeah, I forgot I played this. I think I did a full playthrough for this. This game sucks. Bluey, the video game. Now I know everybody loves Bluey. Everybody's like, ooh, Bluey's the best. I'm a grown-ass man, so I don't play that. I don't watch that. I play it. I don't watch it, though. I'm a grown-ass man, okay? I play my Bluey, okay? That's what grown men do, okay? We play Bluey. We Bluey, okay? All right, so this game is made for young kids. I understand. But I think it's a $40 game. Now, to be fair, it's on Game Pass. To be fair. But when it first came out, it was like a $40, $30 game. Shit, even if it's $20. It's barely an hour long. It is literally walk, press the A button. Walk, press it. All right, here, just read what I say here. You move around, press the A button and the X button. There are Australian accents. That's about it. Like, It replicates the show animation, sure, but the show animation's not like mind blowing. So I don't understand why that was even a pot. It's weird for me to review this, but it's not a good game. I'm sorry, it's just not, and it's very short. So I think I did a full playthrough for this. I'm pretty sure I did. Anyway, okay, so before, of course, Rebirth came out, which I still haven't finished, I had to do intermission because I never played it. And I really liked it. I thought it was a very good DLC. Really enjoyed it. Maybe I should have did a playthrough for that. I didn't think about that. Well, I didn't. I still have to finish my playthrough of Rebirth, which I will eventually. Maybe sometime this month. But yeah, it was really fun. Yuffie is a lot of fun. She's a lot of fun in Rebirth also. It has a good story. A little short, but it also has a little bit like references to other things from Final Fantasy VII lore, which I thought was cool. Like, I'm not like super into the lore as much as everybody else is, you know? Like, I could be, but there's too many games to fucking be able to be like, yeah, you know? Even growing up, I played a lot of games, okay? So, like, it's one of those things where I'm like, hey, I played Dirge of Cerberus, but I don't fucking remember. I fucking literally dick about it. I don't understand anything that happened in Dirge of Cerberus. I really don't. I don't remember anything. I remember the reticle for your gun was fucking huge. That's the only thing I remember. And the main villain, which, yeah. And I remember him just visually. I didn't even remember his name, honestly. All right. Oh, yeah. You know what? I love this. I really did. I'm sorry. This was actually one of my favorite things I played this year. And also, even though I give it an 8 out of 10, also, I did a full playthrough for this. This is Plumbers Don't Wear Ties Definitive Edition. Finally came out. Took me 2 hours to complete. Obviously, I don't really do anything, but this one's not really a game. Technically not true, because it is a game, I guess, because you make little choices here and there, and you have to make the right choice to get to the good ending, whatever. But there is a section that's like almost kind of like a maze museum where you have to run around and collect all the like behind the scenes footage and stuff. And that stuff was a game. You know, you have to watch out for the guy on the bottom right, and he'll come get you and stuff. It was fun. I really like it. You could tell there was a lot of love put into it, like I said there. And yeah, I really thought it was a fun time. I had a really good time with it. I really did. So you can watch my full playthrough if you want. It's up there somewhere. Here we go, finally. Damn, I didn't know it took that long until I finished this. 2 months later. Another Code Recollection, A Journey into Lost Memories. This is the sequel. I never played this because it never came out in America. So even though I would have loved to play it when it first came out, never did. Sadly, never did. And I really, really enjoyed it. It's about the same when it comes to like the quality. It's pretty much the exact same graphics and stuff. The story itself, I think maybe not as engaging. Did I say that? Isn't that cap? There you go. I remember it not being as engaging, but it was still really good. The characters are still great. The music's great. The score's beautiful. I would actually like to get the score on vinyl if they ever make it. I feel like this is gonna be one of those games that is very underappreciated in the future. I'm sure it didn't sell well. It just seems like a game that probably didn't sell all that well. Go play it, because I really like Trace Memory when it first came out, like almost 20 years ago at this point, and I really like these two games. I really do. So get it before it becomes really hard to find too. Even when that happens, I'm sure VGP will fucking reprint it. Actually, I don't know if they would reprint Nintendo published games though. I would recommend it if you like story-based games. It's a very simple game. It's very simple. There's not really like the puzzles. Sometimes they're like and you think for about maybe 30 seconds, and you're like, all right, I got it. You know. Anyway, all right, next. Yeah, I forgot this came out. This came out this year. Princess Peach Showtime. I was actually surprised about how short this game was. Usually the Mario games are around like 10 to 15 hours, I would say. This one, 8 hours. A little shorter than I was expecting. It is fun. I enjoyed this game. I will say, though, for Princess Peach's first game, it's a little weird how... Wait, did I say it too? Sure, but it doesn't do anything particularly. All right, this is my problem after thinking about it for a few months. It doesn't have a Princess Peach vibe. You know what I mean? Like like you can replace Princess Peach from this game and put anybody else. You can put Daisy, where everybody knows Daisy's better anyway. But or Pauline. Pauline's better too. No offense to Peach, she's fine. But she's fine. But I just feel like you could swap her with a lot of other characters and it wouldn't really matter. And you could probably use the same excuse or the same argument for like Mario. Problem is that Mario has been a staple of as the main character for fucking years. Peach not so much. The game itself is still fun. There's a lot of variety. Some of the little missions, costumes, I guess you could say. I don't know what you're gonna say. Like the detective one is kind of boring, and I remember the cowboy one wasn't like the best. I don't know. There was a lot of like ones that were just like, okay, it's fun. It's a fun idea. Visually, it's fun. It's just not all that enticing. It's still a fun game though. For 8 hours, you'll have a good time. It's one of those games where you play it and then 8 months later, 9 months later, actually, exactly 9 months later after I finish it, you'll come back and you'll be like, oh yeah, that came out this year. Anyway. Oh no. Oh, I hate this game. I really do hate this game. $30 for this. This is the TMNT arcade Wrath of Mutant whatever fuck. Yeah, it was not a great year last year for the TMNT games because he had this, he had that one Hades like game which I've heard was all right, but it wasn't great. And then you had that movie tie-in game which was not good. This is so like I thought Jujutsu Kaisen was a cash grab, and it is. But at least that's a new game. And technically has content. This game is 2 hours of boring. Boring. I'm not even fucking around. Some of the most boring fighting, brawling combat I've ever experienced. And the worst part about it is that it's not only $30, you can't even play the motherfucker online. They couldn't even be bothered to put the fucker online. Do I need to compare it to Shredder's Revenge? Do I need to? Because you could buy a new copy of that right now with all the DLC for the same price it cost originally for this fucking heap of shit. And it first of all, it's longer. It's like 3-4 hours long. And then all the DLC, all the new characters, all the like the replayability and the way it looks so much better. It looks so much better. This game, who would have thought Game Mill would publish something not good? I know. Wow. It's just a bad game. And it has like glitches and shit too, and it's annoying to listen to. Like I get it, I'm at the theater and I'm playing this in the arcade, the little mini arcade in the back of the theater that nobody ever goes to. And I had a good time. Good fucking for you. The fuck? That doesn't excuse this for week 30. I don't even give a shit if it was $10. It sucks either way. It sucks massive dick. I'd probably give it a 3 out of 10 now. So there you go. Oh, also by the way, I'd probably give Jujutsu Kaisen maybe a 3.5 now. Because I think this is worse, honestly. Actually, do I think it's worse? Yeah, I do think it's worse. Anyway, Stellar Blade, one of my favorite games this year, or last year. This year we're talking about. It took me about 34 hours. Like that's what it said at the end. I actually restarted this game like last month just because I wanted to see some of the new costumes that came out. I don't know if you heard, but my girl's 2B and A2 are in it now, kind of. But I had to restart the game because I already finished it, and you can't go back to the open world, which is really annoying. I hate that. So I started a new game plus, and I totally forgot how fucking long the intro is. Holy shit. The intro is so long. It takes like 3 hours before you even get to the fucking city place. Anyway, this game is great. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. I know, oh, dude, she got the booty, she got the ass. You can put the costumes on and see more of it. Like, whatever. I know everybody just immediately go, oh, Gooner game. Like, I get it. No, I don't. Fuck you. Everybody likes that. If you don't like women, get the fuck out of here. No, I'm just kidding. But this is what I really can't stand about the argument is that they use that and then just say like the whole game is trash. The game itself is fucking great. Even if there was no Gooner shit in there, it would be a fucking really, really good fucking action game. Has one of the best counters in any game ever. Probably said Sekiro. I was about to say Sekiro. Or Sekiro if you're weird. I've always heard Sekiro. Probably since the what is it called again? What's the counter? Because I played a few hours of that game, so I know what the counter. What is it called again? It has like a name. I forgot. But and when I say counter, I mean parry. I'm sorry. Whatever. It's really satisfying whenever you get off like a good like and it's so good. It makes that noise. Go. You know what I'm talking about. The combat itself is great. The progression of your character too, getting more and more abilities and stuff. The amount of enemies that'll show up and stuff as you go through the progression of the enemy variety, just like not variety, difficulty is really good. It's a very good, very challenging game. Some great bosses too. Amazing visuals. The story itself is fine, I guess. It's like, you know, I didn't really care that much. But overall, still a very, very fun game. Oh, and the soundtrack is so good. Fantastic game. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. So next, I had to play this. They released this on the PS5, so I had to play it. Ooh, your boy had to play it. So this is, of course, the original Sly Cooper and the Thievius Raccoonus, which is I love the original Sly Cooper games. I would say we don't talk about 4, but 4 is fine. I don't get the hate for 4. It's definitely the weakest of the 4, but it's still a solid game. But yeah, I love 1, 2, and 3, especially 2 and 3. I remember loving the shit out of 2. I was like, this game is so much better, and then 3 was like, this game's fucking great too. But 2 definitely. I think 2 is probably the best, if I remember. And guess what? They released 2 and 3 recently on PS5, so your boy's playing that this year. So expect that those 2 games in a year from now on this list. It's a different, you know what I mean. But this game is great. It still holds up. It's still a fucking fun game. It came out 3, 4 years ago, and it still holds up. It's still funny. The graphics are pretty damn good still. I like the little animations. The controls are great. It just holds up so well. I even say bring Sly 2 and 3 to PS5 now, please, and they did. They listened to me. They heard this. They saw this tweet that has 5 likes, only 500 impressions, and they saw it. They were like, all right, Gore. Anyway, great game. It's a short. I think it's definitely the shortest of all the games, but still, it's fun. Anyway, all right, this one. This was, of course, a game from 2023 I finally played. Sonic Superstars, of course. This is a big year for Sonic. You had Sonic the Hedgehog 3, of course. You had Sonic X Shadow. That's really all you really needed. Those 2 were great. But I decided, you know what? I want a little bit extra Sonic come early. So I played Sonic Superstars because I never played it back in 2023. And fuck the final boss. That's what the first thing I want to say. I don't know. It was fine. I enjoyed it. But it was definitely disappointing. Because when they first announced this back at like the Keeley thing from 2023, I was like, this looks fucking good. This might be the best Sonic game since Mania. No, I still like Sonic Frontiers better than this, which I don't know if that's sacrilege. I don't know. I think they both got about the same reviews, honestly. I enjoyed Sonic Frontiers more. I thought the levels were better. You know what? I think I've come to really find out about myself. What? What did I just fucking say? One thing I think I learned about myself this year, there we go, is that I think I like 3D Sonic more than 2D. I used to always like 2D Sonic more than 3D, but like after Sonic Frontiers and Shadow Generations, I didn't even play Sonic Generations again yet, which I will soon, actually. I've been clamoring to go back. I think I like 3D Sonic more. I think I'm a 3D Sonic guy now. I don't know. I mean, hey, Sonic Mania, though, 10 out of 10. So maybe I just prefer the 3D Sonic recently because they've been better. But like, I've even thinking like, you know what, maybe I want to go back and play Sonic Adventure 2, you know, which would make sense considering the movie that just came out. I don't know. It's fine though. Anyway, oh yeah, I forgot. Oh yeah, that's right. I took a break from this. It came out in February. Played it for like an hour. I think I started a playthrough and then I just never continued it because nobody watched it. And I already played the game, so it was like kind of pointless. I already knew exactly where it was going. I played this game. I would like to bring up Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons, the original. I played that game probably, I'm not even kidding when I say probably like a dozen times. I mean, it's a very short game. It's a very short game. But I remember playing that game when it first came out, I think 5 times in that 1 year. I loved it that much. It was one of my favorite games that year. It's one of my favorite games, period. So, I love this game. So when I heard they were remaking, I'm like, okay, probably unnecessary. But, whatever. I don't give a fuck. I'll play it again. And I thought it was a great remake. I thought it looked really good. Obviously, it has a different style to it now. Like, before, it had a very cartoony look to it. Now, it's obviously a little bit more... It still has that same look for the most part, I think. I think some people were blowing up out of proportion. But it plays very well. There's no real glitches. I really, really enjoyed the remake. It's just... I don't know. The music was still great. It was still a great game. It just didn't have the same vibe. And maybe it's because I've played it like 13 times at this point. All right, I said this is like the 8th time. I actually looked it up, by the way, and I'm pretty sure I played it like 12 times. Because I was thinking to myself, I played the 5 times when it first came out, and then I played it this year, and then I played it. I think I played it like a dozen times, bro. I really, truly think I played it that much. So you know, even if it was 8 times, I'm pretty sure I played it like a dozen times. Like, to the point where I remember I could play that game and beat it in like not even 2 hours, because I'm like, all right, I'll do this. I knew exactly where to go everywhere. So maybe a dozen times. Maybe that's a little too much. I said 8 times. That was probably more conservative. I want to say it was close to a dozen times though. Anyway, I love this game. So it's one of those games that's extremely short though, and I'll play it again right now. Actually, I was even considering buying it on PlayStation 5 to try to get the platinum on there, because the remake's only $10, which I think I still will. I think I might actually. Anyway, so you might see this again next year. Anyway, so there you go. 8.5. I'd probably yeah. Red Dead Redemption. Now, this was one of those games where I'm just like, fuck it. Fuck the backlog. I'm playing this. This is the PS4 port that came out 2023. That eventually on PS4 got a 60 frame update. So I was like, all right, well, fuck yeah, let's go. Let's go. 60 frame Red Dead Redemption sounds good to me. And guess what? Still fucking fantastic game. Holy shit, does this game hold up so fucking well. Gameplay wise, I don't care what anybody says. I love it. Just riding around with my horse, going through the world. It's aged extremely well. Graphically, it looks good. The character models look great. All the characters are great. All the story stuff is great. The writing's fantastic. The missions, all that stuff. Great stuff. Loved it to death. Please, Red Dead Redemption 2, 60 frame update. Please, I want to replay it. When they release that or a remaster of that game, full playthrough, 100% happening. I'll restart the whole game. I'll play on PS5 just so I could keep my save for the Xbox One version. And I'll just restart entirely on PS5. When I say Red Dead Redemption 2 might be my favorite game of all time, I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding. Anyway, so yeah, that took 28 hours. I didn't do every single thing in the story, and I didn't do the Undead Nightmare. I'm probably gonna save that. I was gonna save that for October, and then I didn't. So maybe I'll save it for this year. So, also look at the span of time here. Almost 2 months in between my next game beat. Anyway, next is Cat Quest. I finally played Cat Quest. I really enjoyed it. I really wanted to play these games. I'm not gonna lie. And I was gonna play Cat Quest 2, and I did start it up. I just, you know, after Cat Quest 1, I was like, you know what? I need a break, because Cat Quest 1, I played almost the entirety of that game in one day. That's not even a joke. I played like 8 hours of that game in one day. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was extremely charming. I thought the gameplay itself was fun. Everything, it's very simple. Mind you, it's a very simple game. The combat's not like amazing or anything. The story itself is not going to blow you away. The humor is very basic. Like, oh, there's a bunch of cat puns. But it's very cute, very charming. Very addictive. Just want to clear the whole map. I even got the platinum for this. So I really, really enjoyed it. So I need to go play the other 2 games, because I've heard that it just gets better from here on out. And I did play a little bit of 2, and like maybe like an hour, and I was like, yeah, I could really see like the gameplay's been honed a little bit. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. So next, oh, that's right, I forgot I played this. Castaway. This game's very short. Like, hey, the art looks awesome. Love it. Love the look of it. Looks very much like an old school Zelda game from the fucking NES. I think it's way too short. Like, even though I think it only costs $8, an hour to complete, it's extremely simple. It is extremely simple. It is like, it feels like one level you would play in a Zelda game. That's what it feels like. Just one dungeon. And that's it. It's very fun. I like it. It looks cute. It's just too short. I'm sorry. If this was like 3 hours, then I'm like, hey, I'll probably get an 8, and it didn't get boring, obviously. But you progress very easily. You get all the health and stuff. It's simple. I still recommend it if you can get it for like a couple bucks too. If it's on sale, then definitely. Like for $3 for an hour of like Zelda inspired fun, fuck yeah. Go ahead. Oh, and to be fair, there is another mode after you beat the game that's like a roguelike mode. Played a little bit. I didn't love it. But that does add a little bit more replay value. But I was there for more of the Zelda thing, not the roguelike mode. So like it didn't really work for me. So anyway, 22 is, oh yes, I forgot. Castlevania Dawn of Sorrow. This is from the Dominus collection. I do need to go and play Portrait of Ruin and Order of Ecclesias. I played those games back in the day. This game, hey, I'm a different person than I was back in the day. Back in the day, I did play a lot of games, but a lot of times I would have a game and that would be the game I play for like a couple weeks or at least, maybe even longer. So I had all the patience in the world for like Dawn of Sorrow and Order of Ecclesias and Portrait of Ruin. Portrait of Ruin came out before. But this game, Castlevania games are always known to be hard. This game is hard, especially towards the end. Like a lot of Castlevania games, they fucking ramp up the difficulty right in the last like hour or so, where it's just like, especially the Metroidvania style Castlevania games, where they just like fucking ramp it up and they don't give you a save for big chunks of it. So thank fuck for this game with its save states. I don't give a shit what anybody says, oh, you're not playing the game right. Fuck you. I don't care. I enjoyed this game because of that, and you're gonna see a little bit more of that later. I'm not gonna lie. You'll see in about 10 or so games. From now, I do the same thing with another game where the save states and the fucking rewind features and shit really help, because this game is fucking hard. I don't know how I beat this. I don't even, to be honest, I don't even know if I beat Portrait of Ruin or Ecclesias. I know I definitely beat this one because everything was like, oh yeah, I remember this fucking boss. I won't spoil it, but the boss at the end, I remember that being a fucking nightmare. And I actually was surprised how I remembered what you're supposed to do in the boss at the end, but it was still hard as shit. Didn't matter. It's a great game, though. It's a fucking fantastic game. And it really was addictive. I was addicted to playing this game. I probably spent maybe half of that 12 hours in one day, like just playing it. And I really enjoyed it. I really should have just went and started up Portrait of Ruin right after, because I don't know if I'll ever get back to it. But anyway, hey, it was worth it just to replay this game. It was only like a $20 purchase, too. $20 for just Dawn of Sorrow is fucking worth it, especially since the DS games are extremely expensive, which I do have them, to be fair. But, yeah, this is probably the best way to play these, especially if you have it on Switch, and no excuse there. Just like, oh, it's a portable. I mean, there's touchscreen support in the original games, obviously, but not. It's just drawing runes and shit. Anyway, so you don't really need it. This game actually does it extremely well. Also, the touch, like implementing what the touch stuff is in this game, they do it very well. Anyway, next. Oh yeah, that's the big chunky boy. Oh, yeah. This game was a fucking delight, by the way. Moonstone Island. It is exactly... It was like made exactly for me. It is a farming game. I love farming games. It is a Pokemon game, and back in the day, I used to love Pokemon. Nowadays, maybe not so much. But back in the day, I love Pokemon. You have no idea. And then it's also Tears of the Kingdom, because you have these flying islands. You could fly to each of these islands and explore the islands and go through these like little dungeons and stuff. You could collect these Pokemon things. I think they just call them spirits, I believe. And you could collect them. And it's also card combat. So it's actually like Pokemon mixed with like maybe even like a not Yu-Gi-Oh, but shit, what's the Mega Man games? Mega Man like Battle Network, almost kind of like that. Not really, because because you're still doing turn-based. Oh, fuck. Not like Phantom Dust. What would be a good example? I mean, I guess if you just mix cards with moves, I guess. Like if it was a Pokemon game with cards instead. Maybe, is there a game like that already? I know some people are going to say Pokemon card game, but that's not what I mean. Like, you're still playing Pokemon, except your moves are the cards instead. Like, you put... Fuck. There's a good comparison. Anyway, it mixes this up all very well. The cast of characters are all charming and really likable. The graphics, the pixel art is fucking gorgeous. It is one of the best games of last year. Now, to be fair, it came out technically 2023 on Steam, and then it came out on Switch in 2024. That technically means that the one I played, at least I played on Switch, came out last year. But yeah, it's a fucking great game. It's one of those games where you can finish it if you want. You don't really need to. I did finish all the dungeons and stuff, but it's one of those games where you just kind of like mellow and just have a good time and take day by day, do some farming. The farming itself is a little simple. Maybe that's probably the lesser of the stuff, but it does have a Stardew Valley vibe because of the town and stuff. And you talk to people and you build relationships. You can get married and stuff. There's more updates coming out like every few months. It seems like it's a great game. I really recommend it. If you love what I love, then you'll love that. Do I even need to say? Look, I even linked my playthrough. Do I even need to say anything about Astro Bot? Honestly, it's so close to a 10. It really is so close to a 10. It's like a 9.8. So fucking good. Oh, it's so good. To watch my full playthrough. I loved it. I really did. I thought it was a great time. Unsurprisingly, great considering all the other Astro Bot games are great in their own way. Yeah, fantastic. Do I need to say anything else? I was. You can watch compilations of people reacting to the Game Awards, the winner of the Game of the Year award, and a lot of them are like, "Oh my god!" Ah! And I'm just like, "Yeah, fuck yeah!" So anyway, Astro Bot, fantastic. Don't listen to the fucking haters. Black Myth I know is amazing, but I need to finish that. Anyway, next 25. Oh yeah, Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. That's another game I actually did a full playthrough for. It's a guilty pleasure. It's not a great remaster, but I still really enjoy it. It plays very well. It's still fun. It was way too expensive. It was $50, way too fucking expensive, or 45. It might have been $45. Way too expensive. The writing itself is stupid, but whatever. I still enjoy it. I enjoy the game. It's a lot of fun, but it's very much of its time. And I'm not even talking about like the humor and shit. I don't give a fuck about that. Like I don't think I think any type of humor is a-okay as long as it's funny. I'm not one of those like fucking like little dainty flower people like, oh, don't offend me, I'm gonna go on Twitter. Oh. I don't even mean that. I mean just like gameplay wise and stuff, and like the level design. I wish there was more games like this that came out, but yeah, I don't know. It was just too expensive for its own good. I think considering the remaster itself wasn't great, and the repop version of it was almost completely unnecessary. And also they took out a lot of songs. I don't know. If you could play the original, maybe just play that. I mean, it's not 60 frames. I don't know. Anyway, it's still fun. I still enjoy it. 7 out of 10. Anyway, next. All right. I would probably, you know what? I think I might consider putting this in my top 5 worst of the year. I really like every time I think about this, I like it less and less. Havoc is a fun villain. Like I said there, I like Havoc. Whenever he's on screen doing stuff, it's fun. Everything else is fucking dull. And for them to charge $50 fucking dollars for this boring as fuck story mode and 3 additional characters is fucking ridiculous. Now, I know you get the other 3 characters later. I get that. Totally. I understand. And if you really separate them, like you're spending, what, $7-8 each on each character, really, you're only spending maybe like $10 extra on the story mode. But that's the problem. I don't think characters should be that expensive. When you start the game off with a 6-hour campaign, you got Towers mode. You got fucking what's the invasions. You got like 20 something characters, and it's $70. I don't think it's right to charge $7-8 per additional character. And I get a lot of things do. Smash does it. Fucking Tekken does it. Street Fighter does it. But the problem with that is, like, comparing it to this, is that Street Fighter, Tekken, all those games aren't fucking dying. They still have they have a player base. This game has a player base, but it's slowly dying. That's my problem with this being $50. If this was $30, great deal. Oh my god, 6 new characters, a new story mode that's actually halfway decent or good. And maybe a couple additional things maybe throw in there, then okay, fine. But it's a bad story mode. 3 characters you can play now, and then 3 you can play like months later after nobody's playing the fucking game anymore. I don't know. Ghostface is fun, but when Marvel Rivals could release 4 characters for free in one season, I don't know. That's just, I know it's not a fair comparison. I don't know. I don't know. This just because of how bad the story mode here, I might have to actually put in my top 5 worst. Next. All right, so I never actually played Left Behind on the part 1 remake, remaster, whatever you want to call it. So I finally did. I haven't actually played Left Behind since the PS3 days, to be fair. Yeah, I wanted to test the power of the PS5 Pro, and I also just got a OLED monitor that I'm playing my games on currently. And yeah, this game looks amazing, and it was a great DLC. I forgot how good this DLC is. And actually, after playing this DLC again, I think it's much better in this than it was in the show. I don't want to be that guy like, ooh, the show didn't do it right. I think the show did it very well. Everything I'm talking about. And I think it did some stuff you could argue and say better. Sure. This is not one of them, I don't think. I think Left Behind was okay, and it was good in the show. Not even okay. It was good. It was good. I liked it. This, way better. Like, I just felt the relationship between these two way more than I did in the show. And also, just be able to go around the mall and play all these little games and stuff. Like that fighting game that when Riley's like telling you, fuck, kick. You know what I mean? And you just see Ellie's expression. It's just so, all that stuff is so much better in this game. Yeah, and also be able to use the infected clickers and stuff like that to kill people, kind of like lure them in and stuff. That's great. That's great stuff. Anyway, so I think it's a fantastic DLC. So next, the Punisher. Dude, I'm not even lying when I said I was joking at first. I really was. But when they announced the Marvel's Capcom Collection, I got the most excited for the Punisher. I'm not even kidding. Because I played it on the Genesis, I want to say. And I know it's not a great port. Or maybe it was SNES. I don't remember. I played this game, a port of this game, on a console. I think it was the Genesis. Maybe it was SNES though. And I loved it as a kid. And it was a butchered port. But I loved it as a kid. I love the Punisher. I think he's one of the coolest fucking characters, period. And I'm not like one of those guys like, oh, we're the skull and stuff. And like, no, I just think he's a cool character. And I remember having a great time with that game. So when they said this was coming to the MVC collection, I was like, fuck yeah, let's go. And guess what? It is so fucking good. It's so good. It's legitimately one of the best beat 'em ups I've ever played. I love it. It's so good. It's so badass too. You just like, at times you have to whip out the pistol, shoot everybody. Oh my God, it's so good. I'm not even kidding. It is legitimately amazing. It's a fantastic beat 'em up. So play it. Play it. It's so good. It's so good. Even by yourself, it's great. So, and also Kingpin. Everybody thought Kingpin was a big motherfucker in the Spider-Verse, the first Spider-Verse movie. Get right until you see his ass in this game. Holy shit. Anyway. All right. So I said Prince of Persia. I loved it. I really did. But it wasn't my favorite Metroidvania game. Animal Well is not only my favorite Metroidvania game of the year, but it might be in my top 3 of the year, period. What a fucking game. I didn't even complete everything. It took me 10 hours to complete what I've completed. Like, it took me about 8 hours to finish the story, and then I took a couple extra hours just exploring stuff. I need to get back to it, because I feel like if I would go back into this game and really, like, figure out all the other like mysteries and stuff, I feel like this might be my favorite game of the last year. I don't know. I need to put maybe more time into it. But holy shit, this game is so good. First of all, it's one of the most pleasing looking. Like, when you look at this game, your brain's like, yes, this looks good. I like this a lot. Especially if you have an OLED like me. Holy shit, this game looks so good on OLED. But it's so fucking good. It's such a great exploration game. And there's a lot of like challenging moments and stuff, and a lot of good puzzles in the actual story mode, but you need to keep playing after the story is done. When the credits roll and they finish and you get the key and you get the little room, continue, because I played a couple hours after and there's so much stuff. Yo, Donkey was right, bro, for publishing this game. I mean, I already thought the game looked really good before he started publishing it, to be fair, because I already knew what Animal Well was before. I just want to throw that out there, because when I heard he was publishing, I was like, ooh, that's a good get, because that game looks good. It's fucking phenomenal. It really is. It should have won some at the Game Awards, I think. I love Balatro. I don't know if I should put Balatro here. I didn't, because I didn't complete it when it comes to, you know, getting every card and stuff. But I did finish many runs of that game. So that's the problem with games like that. You spend a lot of time in them, and you play them enough to be able to tell you if it's good or not, but you can't really put it here. Like, I can't put Marvel Rivals here, even though I spent like 45 hours on that game. Same thing with Call of Duty Black Ops. Like, I didn't even do the story mode yet. But I played like a good like 70 hours of the competitive, which is what everybody's playing. Let's not fuck around. I don't know. You can't really put it there though, even though you spent so much time. Anyway, next. Okay, Noah's asking me shit. People are asking me, what the fuck? Oh, okay, I get you. All right, there you go. All right. Shadow Generations. I didn't put Sonic X Shadow because I only play Shadow Generations, which is what they label it in the game too. This is the best 3D Sonic game in years. It really is. Honestly, I might even go 9. I really do. Every time I think about it, I'm like, that game was fucking good. Like, that game was really good. Like, I was, like, blown away by how good that game was. When I was doing the stream, I was, like, blown away by how, like, fast everything was. I mean, these games are usually fast, but I feel like that one was way faster. Maybe it's just because I was playing on, like, a monitor. I was doing a stream and stuff, so I was a little bit more focused on the game. I usually am when I'm playing a Sonic game, because a lot of times I turn on a podcast and I just play it, and, you know, I listen to the music too. I have it cranked up a little bit so I can hear shit. But like, usually I'm like doing other things while playing it. You know what I mean? I don't know. This game just like was so good. The controls are so good in this. They're very responsive. There's some issues here and there for sure, but like, I thought it was great, and I like the little open world, open zone kind of thing they were doing. They kind of took some stuff from Sonic Frontiers a little bit, but it's a very, very, very fucking good game, and it's definitely one of my favorites of this year. So sick. All right. So as you'll notice eventually, I just said fuck it. I just started playing a bunch of games on my Switch. And when I mean games, I mean old games. I just said screw it. I was like, you know, I want to play like some Game Boy games. I want to play some SNES games. I said screw it. I don't have Game Boy Advance because I don't have the expansion pass thing, which is probably for the best because I should probably be focusing on other games. But these games are short, so I said, fuck it, let's do it. So I played Super Mario Land 2, which is a game I used to play all the time when I was a kid. The 6 golden coins. It took a couple hours. It was a really fun game. I was actually surprised by how good it still holds up. So, and I didn't really have to use the rewind feature a lot for this game, actually. I used it a couple times, but for the most part, it was like a pretty simple game. And I liked it. Same thing with this one, Super Mario Land. I think I used the rewind feature maybe twice, maybe, probably not. I think I died once right at the end of a later level, and I was like, fuck it, and I just went back. Even though I didn't really need to, I could have went. Like, the levels are extremely short. You can finish every level in like not even a minute, probably, if you're really going through it. I really, really enjoyed this one. I played this one. It might be one of the most played Mario games in my childhood because of how short it is. It's again about an hour to complete. I think I still have the same cartridge I had when I was a kid in my I have a little bag full of Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. I'm pretty sure it's the same copy. It's a fun game. It is a fun game. It was fun to play that. I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I played 2. I might as well go back and play 1. So I did that. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to SNES. I want to play some Donkey Kong Country. Ever since I watched those video game donkey videos, which were from, I don't even think it was 2023. It might have been 2022 at this point, where he went through all the Donkey Kong Country games, or just Donkey Kong Country, or just Donkey Kong games in general. I was like, I've been clamoring to replay them. So I did. And not only did I replay Donkey Kong Country, I also maybe playing another game, which you'll see soon. But Donkey Kong Country, great game. Great game. So good. So good. It really is. It's a great game. It is challenging as balls. That's why, and I said earlier, thank God for the save states and the rewind feature, because good fucking God. There's times where I'm just like, all right, I can't keep rewinding when I die. So if I make a mistake, I'm just like, all right, fine. I died. Let's start back over. But there's times where I'm just like, you know, like, hey, I'm going back, bitch. And I was actually getting, you know, it's funny. Some people will say you're cheating the game there, and that's true. But I was here to really have fun. Also, I would make an argument that I actually got better at the game by doing that, because I go back and I learn, okay, real quick, I learn, okay, the patterns, you know what I mean? So, like, if you're restarting the entire level, you're not going to learn the pattern immediately until you get back to that section where you have to, like, jump, you know, make sure you don't hit the fucking stupid-ass bees, which I get hit by all the time. With the spikes, those guys right there on the fucking cover. So I feel like you learn better when you just go immediately back and go, okay, now, all right. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's a great game. Either way, it's a great game. And it looks fucking awesome still. Next, I don't know why I was like, you know what? I need to play this game again. I don't know why I looked at it. I was like, that sounds good to me. Wild Guns, such an underrated game. So underrated. Honestly, I should have probably just loaded up the Switch game that came out, Wild Guns Reloaded, I think it's called, or Rerun, or something like that. I forgot what it's called. I think it's Reloaded. That would make sense considering. Wild Guns is a fucking awesome arcade shooter. It's so good. You're pretty much just you're not stationary, but you're like in just one. You're like in the foreground, and you can walk back and forth, and everybody else is in the background, and they're shooting at you, and you just have to shoot at them and stuff. And you could dodge roll. You could do a nice little dodge and a dodge roll and stuff like that. You could jump. It's so responsive and tight when it comes to its controls. It's so good. And guess what? Save states. So that's nice, because if you lose all your lives in this, you go all the way back to the beginning. Now, to be fair, I only use save states in this one. I didn't use the rewind feature. So I didn't use the rewind feature in this one. I might have used it in the beginning. Actually, thinking about it, I think I did. I think I stopped myself from using it later because I was like, you know what? In between levels, they have like a little section where you could choose what your next level, whatever next level you want to do. Because you could just do any of the 4 other missions after the first one. So there's like 6 missions altogether. You do one, and then once you're done with that one, it'll say choose the next. It's kind of like Mega Man, where you choose whichever one you want to do next. In between those is where I would put a save, just in case. So, but at the beginning, I was rewinding it. I'm not gonna lie. So I just want to clarify. I was rewinding until I wasn't. But this game's really fun. Very, very fun. And I actually kind of want to see what's so new about the rerun, our reloaded version. I think it's like new weapons and new bosses or something like that. I don't think there's like a ton new in it, but I think it's like, it looks about the same. This game's great. You should play. If you have the SNES, whatever, if you have just regular online, then you have this. Play it. It's so fun. It really is. Anyway, and the last game, the final game I played in 2024, and I just made it too. It was like a few hours before the end of the 31st. And that game, of course, is Donkey Kong Country 2, bitch! This one took me a little bit longer. There's more things you have to worry about when it comes to like wanting to progress and stuff. Like, yeah, let's just say you have to get like a lot of coins and stuff. But I really enjoyed this one as well. I don't think I liked it as much as what's the Wii game? Returns. Because I did play that. I never played Tropical Freeze, to be fair. Well, I played a little bit of it. I didn't play a lot of it. I was back in the time when the Wii U was dying, and I was just not playing Wii U games anymore. Like, I think I played Bayonetta 2, and that was like the last Wii U game I played. And I think that might have been the same year, actually, as Tropical Freeze. But it's not as good as Returns. I think Returns might be my favorite of the entire franchise. From what I played. Again, I know Tropical Freeze everybody loves. One day. But yeah, this is a great game. This is definitely better than the first game, I think. Playing as Diddy and Daisy. Daisy is her name, right? Dixie. Wait, shit. What's her name? Daisy or Dixie? No, I can't remember. Dixie Kong, right? I think they're both. Wait, no. Wait. Is there a Daisy Kong? Or am I just thinking Daisy because of Nintendo? I don't remember. Anyway, very fun game, though. It is challenging. It definitely is. I feel like maybe I was just get used to it more so. I feel like this one was a little bit easier than the first game. I don't know. I still had to rewind and shit. But I feel like I wasn't dying as much. I don't know. And there's a lot more variety in the levels too. I realized like there's a lot more. Like there's more underwater and stuff. There's more whatever, like riding on animals. There's a lot more variety. So it was cool that it only came out like what, a year, maybe not even a year or two after the first game, and there was a lot more variety. You don't get that nowadays. It seems. But there you go. That is that. That is everything I finished this year. I guess we could go through it real quick again. Just scrolling through right there. Tekken and Narco. I'm not gonna read it all, but pretty much finished this entire canon. This stuff does. I'm not feeling all that great. But yeah, I mean, not a bad year. There's a lot of games I'm really close to finishing too that I just never got around to. Like Rebirth, I'm like maybe 20. I know 20 hours seems like a lot, but like considering the game is like 60 hours, I'm fairly close. I'm really close to finishing my like 4th playthrough of Mass Effect 3, because I also restarted that because I never finished the trilogy on the Legendary Edition version. You know what I mean? So never finished. I only played the first 2, so I'm like at the end there. I feel like there's other games I'm really close to beating that I just never got around to going back to. Oh, I'm like really close to. Well, not really close. I would say I'm like 60% of the way through Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and some else. I'm sure. I don't remember. I'm sure those are games I'm really close to finishing. But there you go. That is it. 35 games is not bad. That's definitely not the lowest ever. I think the lowest I ever did was like 23, which is like not good enough. I want to at least do 30 a year, at least. So 35 is pretty good. And a lot of classic stuff in there, which is nice because I haven't played a lot of those games in a little while. So, especially like the Donkey Kong Country games, not Wild Arms, Wild Guns. We're not finished Wild Arms in an hour, that's for sure. Any of those games, but great stuff. So anyway, that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, look, we just passed an hour. This must be the longest one I've ever done, too. I think most of them are around 40. So this is an hour. So there you go. That's it. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you. Till next time. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. Bye bye. Oh, tell me what games you finished this year. Of course. Tell me. Let me know. I want to know.